think women holding boundaries is so sexy.
Welcome to Lifting with Liz. I am so hyped to be here with my friend, Dr. Marissa Snyder. Oh, I've gotten to know her over about the past year. She is such a powerhouse in the midlife female space. Dr. Mariza is not only the author of 9 books, including The Perimenopause Revolution, which just came out. She's also the host of the Energized podcast, which is a must listen. I've been a guest on it. We had such a rad conversation. She is a mom to Sweetie Kingston, who's almost 5 years old, and she's a practicing clinician who helps women navigate their midlife years and hormones. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I am so hyped to be here.
Well, I'm super excited to work out with you because we have talked about weightlifting in the past and you've been doing it for a minute. We'll start with a warm-up because they are so important.
Yes.
We'll go through the workout and then we'll finish up with a cool down and some high five questions and just talk about your new book and what's going on in your world.
I love it.
And I always begin by asking, how is your body feeling today?
It is feeling so good. I walked here.
I love that.
I love walking here, and as I was sharing with you earlier, working out with your girls is the ultimate longevity hack. And so the idea of getting to be here, getting to work out with you, I am just so pumped.
I could not agree more. There is no way I like catching up with somebody better than sharing a sweat together. Tell me about your history with strength training. I think you started like really young, right? Like when you were in high school even?
I did. So I started when I was 16 years old. I was on the varsity team playing soccer, and I had a coach who was a soccer player as well. And he felt like the best way for us to get more power, more strength, more resilience, to be able to run faster was to train. So we trained with the boys in the high school gym 3 days a week. It was mandatory. And that's exactly the results we got. We were faster, we were stronger, we had more power, and we could sprint faster. And so I just took that through. I think I saw the results, I saw the benefit, and I learned to love it at an early age. And I just knew that when it came to being strong and resilient, weight training, resistance training, that's where the juice was worth the squeeze.
That's awesome.
That's what I've been doing.
I came to strength training later in my life. I wish my coaches had gotten us on that train earlier, but I have to follow up and ask because I also played soccer. What position did you play?
I was a forward.
Yes! We like the goal, right?
Yes, exactly.
I was not the most skilled. I didn't have the best footwork, but I did have an instinct for how to get it in the net.
And I was very persistent, and I was fast. So I had a lot of good agility. And I think that's why I was like, okay, in order to be a forward and to have that strength and to be able to, I needed to train.
Yeah. And
I think the gains were just so good. I mean, again, as a teenager, you're gonna see the gains pretty quickly.
Totally.
But I was like, this is the thing. This is what I do. And through college, becoming a doctor, I mean, there was never a time where I haven't trained.
Yeah.
I maybe have taken a month off here and there, but for
Yeah.
the most part, I even trained all the way until I was 38 weeks pregnant.
That is awesome. Yeah. A woman who practices what she preaches. Okay, well, we're gonna start with thrusters.
Okay.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. Talking and counting reps is not my forte, but I'm getting better at it.
4.
Thank you.
5.
And 8. Okay, awesome. Next, we're doing gorilla rows. But as we get ready for that, I have to ask you about your latest book. You are the most prolific author, but I love the title of this book, The Perimenopause Revolution, because that is such a long period and one that many women don't even realize they're in that chapter. So was that important to you to explore this particular transition in a woman's life?
I was blindsided by perimenopause.
Yeah.
And this was at a time in my life where I was intentionally doing all the things right. Probably overdoing like so many women. I had just recovered from postpartum and I was feeling good. And I thought, let's go. Maybe I can shove this thing back a little bit. This thing called perimenopause. Yep. It had other plans for me. And I remember experiencing burnout after workouts, lower energy capacity. My brain felt like it was scrambled. I was moody. I just didn't feel like myself. Yeah. I felt like a lesser version of me. And I remember tracking my symptoms around my cycle, and 3 months in a row, I would have this rage. And that's how I knew I was in perimenopause. And I thought, why didn't anyone tell me it was gonna be like this? And I had been taking care of women for 17 years in this transition. And I think the narrative had been, oh, it's just aging, oh, maybe it's inflammation, it's metabolic issues, women are just overextended, they're tired, they're stressed. And I was like, oh no, this is profound.
I, as a woman who am 46 with 3 kids and, aging parents, aging in-laws, sometimes it's hard to parse out what is just like life and stress and being in this period versus like what is body chemistry and hormonal. So do you have any advice for women? Because I know you talk to women all the time about exactly that.
Yeah, I mean, let's just acknowledge the fact that we are also in the messy middle. And it is so hard to parse out, what is it?
Yeah.
Is it the stress? Is it my multitasking? And I think that's what makes it so complex, what makes it so challenging to go through perimenopause, is that all of this is happening. And before peri, most of us could handle all the spinning plates.
Yeah.
We could handle the 100 tabs, the birthday gift for so-and-so, the laundry list of things that we need to do, running our career, the purpose, the through line. And then all of a sudden, there's a faltering when the hormones begin to decline and we begin to not feel like ourselves anymore. That's the number one thing I hear from women. And it's a symptom we have to listen to, or a cluster of symptoms we have to listen to, because as I shared, it is a window of vulnerability. Hormones are declining no matter what's going on in your life.
Yeah.
That's gonna happen, that's an inevitability. And it can feel like it's happening without permission.
Yeah.
Especially all the high level, think about it, all the high level women you know.
Yeah.
All the high level women I'm surrounded by, how many times they thought it was early dementia? Or they was like, what's going on with my body?
Yeah.
And just really trying to reconcile what's happening. And I think that's a big part of the conversation is, what's the reframe? How do we look at this differently? This isn't a decline, it's your body calling for a new level of support.
Yeah.
It's you becoming intentional about how you're gonna rewrite your midlife story.
Well, I love the positivity you bring to this, because I know a lot of the headlines can be scary and dark, but one of my favorite things about you, and you always bring this energy to your social media handle, you should follow Dr. Mariza if you don't already, a humor, and you kind of have fun with
Levity.
it. I laugh out loud every time I come across your memes, many of which are like, this is what it'd be like to be in perimenopause, and they're so good.
Yeah, I mean, I think we get to have levity, because many of our demands aren't really going to change per se. Like the non-negotiable demands, I think we get to be very discerning in this transition. I was talking to you before we got started about the difference between capability
Last month.
and capacity.
Yes, I love that.
I think that's the reckoning of women saying, but I'm capable.
Right.
I did this, I know I can do this, but all of a sudden, my capacity is different. My bandwidth is different. And we have to, when you kind of reconcile that and decide, okay, similar to motherhood, like kids come on board and you just have to be more discerning about what you're gonna put your energy and time to. We just have to get much more clear about our non-negotiables.
Yeah.
And much more clear about what feels expansive versus contracting, and just double down on those things. Boundaries are important, being very clear about your hell yeses and hell nos.
Yes.
And prioritizing you when the world and everyone has told you to prioritize everything else.
Everything else. Do you have your personal training certification?
I did. Well, I did. I was a personal
I
trainer.
can tell by your form.
I was a personal trainer for 6 years.
Okay.
In my 20s.
This tracks. Wait, did you work in the fitness industry?
I did.
Of course you did. A woman who does it all. Okay.
I was
other
a
side.
biochemist by day, and I was a personal trainer by night, or early mornings and evenings.
Well, that tracks with all of the work you do in this space. You've got the chops, the education, and the real world experience working with actual people. But back to what you said before, if it's not a full body yes, it's a full body no. That is a lesson I continue to learn every single day. I would love your advice for this, because I struggle with it. Disappointing people, I want to be a people pleaser, and then I end up getting resentful and I'm already overwhelmed, but I take on the other thing. So what's your advice on giving the hell no, but in a nicer way?
So let's say someone's asking you something, like they want you to do something, say, hey, can I take time to consider it? And
Don't answer right away.
Don't answer right away. High achieving women often are saying yes to opportunities, yes to things, and it's a very reactive state where they haven't really digested what it is. And that's me to a T. Take some time to consider, and then I would just kind of meet it with a compliment sandwich or a gratitude sandwich of saying, hey, this is such a beautiful opportunity, but right now I'm in a season where these are the things I've committed to, and I want to give it its full attention. I just can't do that right now. So I think it's like,
you say it so beautifully. I'm tucking that into my back pocket for my next, when I need to say no.
I think that you can be gracious at the same time holding a boundary. And I think women holding boundaries is so sexy. It's so sexy.
We've been talking about the perimenopause years.
Yes.
You're all over the place in social media, but tell me about myths you see, things that bubble up on social media or podcasts, because these days everybody has an opinion and is an expert. Not everybody has all the training and education and background that you do. Is there any myth you see pretty regularly out there?
The myth I want to bust is that perimenopause specifically is just a moment in time. It's, for a little time, but also it's a zone of chaos that then settles out. And I want women to understand that what is happening during this transition is profound. And that the symptoms and the signals that your body is telling you, we have to listen to them. We can't just say, oh, this is gonna just flush out on the back end of menopause. The silent shifts are so silent, but so pervasive in terms of our cardiometabolic health that we have to listen. We gotta listen to our bodies. We can't just pretend and ignore that this is just a little season.
Yeah.
There's a reason why we're getting these signals and these symptoms. And when 25% more of our lives than men are spent in debilitating health, which lowers our quality of life, this is the time. This is the moment where we need to listen to our bodies, and this is where we need to be more strategic.
Yeah.
We need to take our health very seriously. And again, we need to be so clear on those non-negotiables. And when I talk about non-negotiables, it is really our health non-negotiables.
Yeah.
It is movement, it is sleep. Gone are the days where we can get away with the things we got away with.
Right.
Like we have to be more intentional about how we take care of our bodies if we want to thrive into that second half of our lives.
I think what's interesting about that, I've seen a lot of people talk about the perimenopause years as like another puberty,
Yes.
right? Or like the postpartum
Yeah.
or pregnancy stages when hormones are all over the place, fluctuating, so many changes are happening. And correct me if I'm wrong, but perimenopause is like much longer. Like you said, it's not as finite as those times in our lives.
Exactly. So perimenopause is the second puberty. I call it the higher stakes game because it is the messy middle.
Yeah.
And puberty, we do have to acknowledge the fact that puberty is a 4 to 6 year transition and give our girls extra grace.
Okay, that is a long time.
That is a long time. 4 to 6 years, give or take. I mean, the brain is massively reorganizing during that time. Every one of these transitions are neuroendocrine transitions. The brain is changing. Postpartum and pregnancy, you and I both know as moms, who we were before we became a mother is not who we are anymore.
It's true.
Like we had to just let that version of us go. But there was a lot of purpose with that. Like it was so clear what the directive was. Keep the kids alive. Keep them safe.
Yeah.
Right, and then perimenopause, this is where now we've got the kids maybe, or we've got the family to take care of. We have the career, all the things. And our brain is going through a major reconstruction. And it could be anywhere from 4, but on average 6 to 10 plus years.
Yeah.
Except that what happens on the other side of this is the second half of our lives. It's menopause. And we have to recognize that how we take care of our brain, how we take care of our bodies is going to set the tone for the next 40 years.
Yeah.
And it breaks my heart that we've pretended that it hasn't been this entire time. And we wonder why women are struggling on the back end.
For sure. So you have brought up some non-negotiables,
Yes,
tools that we can use. One that you mentioned earlier was sleep, but I militantly protect my sleep.
This is how we bonded.
That's right. But what I love about you is I think you have the dreamiest pre-sleep wind down routine I have ever heard. So I hoped you would share it with everybody who's watching Lifting with Liz.
Absolutely, I would love to share it. So it starts when I put my son to sleep around 8 o'clock, and I have about a 30-minute window to get the things done, and that's it. Then I go into treating my sleep like it is a $1 million meeting, because as far as I'm concerned, it is. Because sleep is gonna make or break my next day, period. That's just where I'm at in my journey. So I go downstairs, I have my emotional support water, my shoes, the keys. I make an iced coffee with protein. I put my aminos in my water as well. So we're good.
Girl, yes.
That's all in the fridge or by the door. And then I take my supplements, usually magnesium, omegas. I have a whole stack that I take before bed. And I have Hashimoto's thyroiditis, so it's catered to that autoimmunity as well. So that's my own stack.
Got it.
Then I head up to the room. And once that door shuts, you cannot talk to me. Okay, it's game over. Like, you should have said what you needed to say. You can meet me in the morning. So I do my little beauty routine. I lay out my clothes for the next day. So everything's laid out because I want to be out the door in 10 minutes from when I wake up. I get in bed. I have a gratitude practice that I do. And I'm grateful for what happened that day. There's always something to be grateful for in the 24 hours that you just lived, you know? Even if the day was a crap day, like there's always something to be grateful for. And then I get out my book, I get out a little lavender oil, I breathe it in, I get out whatever fiction book I'm reading or personal development book I'm reading. And I have such good sleep consistency at this point, so 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., that by 9:45, my body is cueing for sleep. And I just listen to that. I've got my really cool down pajamas on. It's all dark in the room. It's cool in the room. And I'm usually asleep by 10 p.m. Yeah.
Told you it was
Up by
dreamy.
6.
I often take a quick shower, in a hot shower to get my core body temperature low, but kind of like you with your gratitude practice, I think of myself as wiping the energy of the day away, the good stuff and the bad stuff, just to sort of like cleanse myself so my brain and body can have a really deep, restorative sleep. And I also aspire to read a real paperback book in bed, maybe yours.
I used to really struggle with being wired and tired. Some people, they dump everything on paper, which I love, you know, whatever it takes. Some people do breath work. Me, my brain, because I've been reading since I was very young, a lot of books, my brain just calms down when my eyes move across the page. That's the big thing I've learned about the sleep situation, is that it's about consistency. Commit to yourself in a, I'm gonna do whatever it takes kind of way to feel good the next day. And then if we need to bring in some natural sleep aids, we can always do that. But like, you deserve consistent sleep. You deserve to wake up feeling energized.
Yeah.
You deserve a routine that honors you.
Yeah. We have used the word longevity several times as we've been chatting today. For me personally, I feel like for all the conversation that thankfully is happening around perimenopause and menopause, I'm hearing the word longevity a lot more in the same sentences as women's health and midlife, which for me, as somebody who's been in this space for so long, seemed like a buzzword in the men's space.
I've been doing this.
Yeah, so I was just curious, have you noticed that?
Yes, and I am so grateful that this is happening because that's what this was always about. How do we become more resilient? How do we become more strong? How do we future-proof our health? I want to do the things today that my 80-year-old self is so grateful for. She's gonna be like, I'm so glad you doubled down in your 40s, your 50s, and just kept going, right? And so that's what this book is all about. It's not just about traversing perimenopause. I do wanna mitigate symptoms. I want you to feel amazing. I want you to thrive in this transition, but I also wanna set you up to win in the next transition because that is where the magic happens. Who we become, the hard-won lessons, the habits that we stack on top of one another, the prioritization that we make for ourselves, who we become in this transition, it will catapult us into the second half of our lives. And I want every woman to feel strong and resilient and to feel like their brain is firing on all cylinders. I don't want this to be the beginning of the end. This doesn't have to be a decline. I'm so over that narrative. It's time for us to let it die. So that's the narrative I want to burn to the ground.
Burn it. I am with you 110%. I don't aspire to live to 200 years old.
Nor do I.
I just want to, like you said,
Quality.
I want to be 80 and still running around, hopefully with my grandchildren and healthy and strong and hopefully still lifting weights. You just published The Perimenopause Revolution. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I know how much work it is to write a book, to edit a book. I mean, in many ways, it's like giving birth to another baby.
It is. It's a 2-year process for most of us.
Such a long process. And then the irony of it all is you finished it, but then the work begins all over again because you run around promoting it. So you're a mom to Sweetie Kingston. You have so many balls in the air that you're juggling, which you handle with so much grace. But now you're traveling, you're on the road, you're doing TV appearances and podcasts and coming to New York and hosting events. How, as a mom and an entrepreneur and a founder, are you balancing all of these things?
I love this question because I think that there's so many moms out there like you and me who are just trying to juggle it all. And I don't think that there's any balance per se. I think what it comes down to is discernment and where you want to put your energy, and being very, very intentional about where that energy goes. One of the things that's really important to me is being fully present. So when I'm with my son, I'm fully present with my son. I do my best to stay away from my phone. I put it somewhere far away. Yes. When I'm in the interviews, I'm fully present in the interviews. And I'm also, at the end of the day, I believe that I am a mom first. Mm-hmm. And so I run everything through my son. That's the lens. I know that he would be proud of me. He's so excited about this book coming out into the world. And he also wants his mama. So I'm really mindful about, again, really the lessons of perimenopause. More discernment, more boundaries, and more being fully present for the people and things that matter most to me.
Okay, so we're moving into the high five questions that I ask everybody. My first one is, tell us something surprising that's always in your gym bag.
I would say my deep blue. So I've had a lot of neck trauma and head trauma, and so I love to put like a deep blue on. I brought you one.
What is a deep blue?
I'll show it to you. Here, a
Grab
deep
it.
blue, it's like an icy hot. I take it with me everywhere.
Awesome.
So you want me to, would you like me to apply some on you?
Never had an application and massage on.
Okay, here we go. So I usually, like I said, neck stuff and trap stuff, especially traveling. So I just usually, and it wakes me up. So I love this stuff. And it's great for sore muscles. But I'll apply it before a podcast.
This is delightful.
Okay, yeah, and
it smells so good.
It's gonna kick in like 2
Oh wow, it smells
minutes.
like mentholy, minty,
Yeah,
and it felt really good. What is a power song that never fails you?
I would say I was torn between Feeling Myself, and then the other one is gonna be another Beyonce song, but it's gonna be Savage, Beyonce and Megan Thee Stallion. So it's one of those two.
That's some real power women, power tunes. What is your go-to mantra?
It feels good to feel good.
Ooh.
I need that reminder.
Ooh, I love that. Do you switch mantras, or is that like always there?
The other one is nothing is wrong. Because as a mom and a businesswoman and a doctor, I'm always trying to solve all the problems, and there are moments where there are no problems to solve, and nothing is wrong.
I love that. Okay, that reminds me of one of my favorites, which I say to my kids all the time. Big deal or little deal? And most things are little deals. And we can get through little deals, right? We don't have to make them a big deal. What is your favorite meal of the day?
Dinner with my family.
Aww.
Usually it's salmon, roasted veggies, a little salad with avocado and a vinaigrette, but it's family time. We make dinner together, and then we have dinner at the table. We do a little gratitude practice at the dinner table, and it's just very sweet. So
Aww.
I love dinner.
We didn't really talk about nutrition much, but that's a very protein-forward dish, and I know protein is something you focus on.
Protein, fiber, healthy fats. We try to avoid any added sugar, ultra-processed foods. Really, the through line in my family is we make the cookies, we make the muffins, I make the protein pancakes, so that's how we build a metabolically healthy plate. Like even our children are becoming more vulnerable to metabolic issues. So that's the through line in my household. But I focus on protein. I try to knock out at least 40 grams of protein in the morning, so I'm like, okay, I'm out the gate strong.
Totally.
And then usually lunch is about 30 grams, and I try to get another 40 at dinner.
So you're getting at least 100 a day.
Yeah, that's my goal.
what I aim for too. Yeah. Final question: what is one word that people would use to describe you?
Energized. It's very much that word.
Of course, it's so true. I mean, like your outfit is energized, your smile is energized. The way you speak and carry yourself, I think that fits to a T. Yeah. I loved catching up with you. Thank you for hanging out with me and sweating with me. I would love to go get a coffee or drink with you, but honestly, I think doing a workout together is the best way to catch up.
This is it. I want to just say really quickly, this is the ultimate longevity hack. Getting to train with your girls, or walking with your girls, any movement with your girls, like that's the thing. If I could habit stack or like pleasure stack, it would be walking or hiking with an iced matcha, unsweetened, and with my girls catching up. That's my favorite thing.
Love it.